Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today's topic is from unit number 1 from Amazing Science for class 7. The name of the unit is Structure of Living Organisms. As here you can see that structure of living organism consists of in the form of all living organisms like plants and animals. So structure is actually the shape of the organism, their body parts, while living organisms are those creatures which have the ability to grow, which have the ability to breathe, and which have the ability of reproduction. If any creature having all these ability, so that will be known as living organism. Within this chapter we will study about the structure of the animal and structure of the plants. So starting from the structure of a flowering plant. The body of the flowering plant is divided into two parts, vegetative part and reproductive part. Vegetative part is in the form of stem, root and leaf, while reproductive part is in the form of the flower. As here you can see within this plant, the leaf, the stem and the root are the vegetative parts, while reproductive part is only the flower. And you have to search about the fruit, that either fruit comes in the category of vegetative part or reproductive part. So starting the vegetative part in detail, stem is one of the vegetative part. It is that part which is present above the ground and it bears leaf, branches and flowers. It is either green in color, but mostly it is brown in color when it becomes mature. So after the introduction of the stem, we have to move towards the parts of the stem. Parts of the stem are mainly of four types: nodes, internodes, stomata and buds. Node is that part of the stem which is in the form of swollen areas. As here you can see, I have given you the example of a sugarcane plant, and node is present over the surface of the stem and it is swollen areas. From the nodes, the branches and the leaves get rising. The next one part is internode. Internode is the space between two adjacent nodes. Means two nodes which are near to each other will be known as, or the space between two nearby nodes is known as internode. The next one is stomata. Stomata are present mainly on green stems. It is in the form of tiny holes and it is involved in the exchange of the gases, and within plant there are two types of gases. The one is known as carbon dioxide and another one is known as oxygen. So stomata is involved in the exchange of the gases. The next one is the bud. Bud is also present on the surface of the stem. There are two types of buds: terminal bud and axillary bud. Terminal bud is mainly present at the tip of the stem and it is involved to increase the length of the stem or the length of the plant. The next one is axillary bud. Axillary bud is that bud which is involved in the formation of the leaf and the branches. The axillary bud is mainly present over the surface of the nodes, and its name indicates axillary. This axillary bud word is derived from axil. And what is axil? Axil is that point over the stem which is present between the junction of the stem and the leaf. So the axillary bud will be present over here. So this was about the parts of the stem. That stem mainly consists of four parts. The first one is known as nodes. Here I have given you the example of the sugar cane. The node is clearly visible over the surface of the stem of the sugar cane. Nodes are swollen areas from which the leaves and the branches will get rising. Internode is the space between adjacent nodes. Stomata are tiny holes which are involved in the gaseous exchange. It is also involved in the process of transpiration. And then buds. Buds will be of two types: terminal bud and axillary bud. Terminal bud will increase the length of the plant and axillary bud will produce leaf and the branches. After the parts of the stem, the next topic is about the types of the stem. There are three types of stem: horizontal stem, climber stem, and erect stem. Here I have given you the diagrams of all the stems. This is the diagram of horizontal stem. Within horizontal stem, we are having the example of strawberry plant. Within climber stem, we are having the example of grapes, or we are having the example of money plant. The next one is erect stem. Within erect stem, we are having different type of plants like palm tree, date tree, mango tree, apple tree. So why this classification has been done? This is depend upon the structure of the stem, their strongness, their weakness. Horizontal stem is that type of stem which grow on the surface of the ground. They are weak. They are having the example of strawberry, and they are having the example of pumpkin. The next one is climber stem. Climber stem is also weak. They need support to grow. So if you bring the example of grapes or money plant in your mind, so you will clearly see that their stem is weak, so they require support. The next one is erect stem. Erect means seedha, upright. Erect stem is that type of stem which will grow in upright direction, and we are having the example of mango, we are having the example of apple, mainly all fruit plant having the example of erect stem. So this is about the types of the stem, that there are three type of stem: horizontal stem, climber stem, and erect stem. Horizontal stem will grow on the surface of the ground, climber stem will need a support to grow, and erect stem will be strong, it will move in upright direction. Next topic is about function of the stem. The first one, main function of the stem is that it bear fruit, leaves, and branches. The next one is transportation. Transportation of what? Transportation of food, minerals, and water. As we know that the food is mainly prepared within green leaves, and with the help of the stem, that food will start moving to other part with the help of the stem. The next one is photosynthesis. As we know that green parts of the plant consist of chlorophyll, so young stem is present in green color. So it also having chlorophyll, it will involve in the process of photosynthesis, and photosynthesis is actually the preparation of food. So stem is also involved in the preparation of food for the plant. The next one is gaseous exchange. Gaseous exchange is done by the stem when it has stomata. Number one, structure of living organism, and within structure of living organism we were talking about structure of a flowering plant, and within flowering plant we were talking about the vegetative part. We have discussed about the stem, and today we will discuss about the roots. Root is the underground part of the plant which is non-green in color. Next is the parts of the root. There are mainly three parts of the root: root tip, root cap, and root hair. Root tip is this one point. From the root tip, the root will start growing. Root cap is the next part which is present near the root tip. It helps in the protection of the root. The next one is the root hair. Root hair is involved in the absorption of the water and the minerals from the soil. So this is about the parts of the root. That root is the underground part of the plant. It is non-green in color. Mainly it is brown, dark brown, or light brown in color. It having mainly three parts: root tip, root cap, and root hair. Root tip is that part which involved to increase the length of the root. The next one is root cap. Root cap is the tip of the root which helps in protection from any injury. The next one is root hair, which is involved in the absorption of water and minerals. The next one is types of roots. There are mainly three types of root: taproot, fibrous root, and adventitious root. Taproot is that type of root which having a main root which is known as primary root, from which many branch root get arising, and all the branch root will be known as secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. So taproot having the example of radish or carrot. The next one is fibrous root. This is the diagram of the fibrous root. Within fibrous root, all the roots, all the branches will be get arising at the same time. The next one is adventitious root. Adventitious root is that type of root which get arising directly from the stem. Fibrous root having the example of the grass, Adventitious root having the example of the sugar cane. So these are three types of root: taproot, fibrous root, adventitious root. Taproot having one main thick root from which the branch root get arising, and the example is radish and carrot. Fibrous root is that type of root in which the roots will get arising at the same time, and mainly all of them will be having the same length and the size. Adventitious root having the example of sugar cane, in which the root get arising from the stem, not from any other part, it will get arising from the stem. Next is function of the root. Function of the root is absorption, fixation and storage of food. It will do the absorption of water and minerals. It helps in the fixation of the plant, and as it form the plant firmly inside the soil. The next one is storage of food. It stores food for the plant. The next topic is the leaf. Leaf is the flat green part, and it having these parts. The first one part is lamina, which is the expanded part of the leaf. This one part is known as midrib. It is involved in the transportation of food, as it consists food and water. It consists of xylem and phloem. The next one is the vein. The vein is arising from the midrib. It is same like that of the capillaries of our body. This is the petiole. Petiole helps in the attachment of the leaf with the branches and with the stem. The next one is its function. It do photosynthesis. It also involved in the process of transpiration, and it is involved in gaseous exchange. Photosynthesis is the preparation of food. Transpiration is the removal of the extra water from the plant, and gaseous exchange is the exchange of the gases, and the gases are in the form of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And this platform is known as receptacle, that all the parts will be present over this receptacle. So we have to move towards the first line. The first line is present after the thalamus, or you can say the pedicel is the first part, thalamus is the second part, and after thalamus it having another line, and that line is known as calyx, which having sepals. These are sepals. Sepals are green in color. Their number are from 2 to 8. They are mainly green in color, and they helps in protection under bud condition. Okay. The next line is known as corolla. Corolla is the second line, which is present over this receptacle. Corolla consists of colored petals. The number of the petal is 2 to 100, or maybe in some flower it is more than 100. Why they are colored? They are colored as they have to perform their function in the process of pollination to attract the insects. The third one line, or the third one word, is known as Androsium. This Androsium is present after corolla. The Androsium is actually the male part of the flower. Androsium is the third line, the third word, which consists of stamen. Stamen is the male part. We will discuss about the stamen in detail on that side. The fourth word is known as Gynosium. Over the surface of the Gynosium, the female part is present, which is known as carpel, and we will discuss the detailed structure of the carpel on that side. So this is about the structure of a flower. The flower mainly consists of a stalk, which is known as pedicel, which helps in attachment. The next one is the thalamus. Thalamus is the swollen part, which is brown or green in color. After that, it having a receptacle. That receptacle consists of many walls, and those walls consist of different parts of the flower. As here you can see, the first one wall is known as calyx, and over the surface of the calyx the sepals are present. Sepals are green in color. Their number are 2 to 8, and they helps in the protection of the bud. The second word is known as corolla. Corolla consists of petals. The number of petals is from 2 to 100. They may be yellow in color, they may be red in color, they may be orange in color. After corolla, the third word is known as Androsium. Androsium consists of male part, and the name of the male part is stamen. Fourth word is Gynosium, and Gynosium consists of carpel, which is the female part. Along with all these parts, it consists of certain glands, and the name of those glands are known as nectaries, which is present at the base of the flower. Here they are present. What they actually do, that they secrete certain sweet substances which are known as nectar, which are involved in the attraction of the insect for the process of pollination. Now here we are having the structure of carpel. It having stigma, style, ovary, ovule and ova. Stigma is the tip of the carpel which is sticky and it is involved in the sticking of the pollen grain. Style is the neck of the carpel. Ovary is the swollen area. Inside the ovary, ovule is present, and inside the ovule, ova is present, which is actually the egg of the carpel, or you can say the female part. This is about the stamen. Stamen mainly consists of two parts. The swollen part is known as anther and the stalk-like structure is known as filament. This anther consists of pollen sacs. Remember that anther consists of pollen sac, and inside the pollen sacs the pollen grain are present. So this is about the reproductive part, that within reproductive part we have to discuss about the flower and all parts of the flower, and as we are concerned with the reproductive part, so within the flower we will discuss about the carpel and the stamen in detail that is given over here. Thank you.